So we mentioned it for a moment here, but let's talk the 2016 box office because this was all over the place.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just kind of insanity. I mean, movies we thought were going to do well tanked.
Oh yeah, not even
Movies that were
close.
crap did far better than they should have deserved.
Yep.
So just looking at Box Office Mojo here.
I cannot believe that the number one movie is a kids movie.
No,
Oh,
I can
come
absolutely
on.
believe
Every
it.
year.
Yeah.
It's almost every year. Every year, because the families pay. First off, ticket prices are huge.
Yeah.
Families, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're paying for 5 people instead of
Yeah,
for 2
4 or
people.
5 at a pop.
Yeah.
You're seeing it multiple times. Sometimes it's like a family outing with friends.
Yeah.
And it's a Pixar movie. They do really well. I mean, like aside
It's a
from.
sequel Pixar movie.
But that's the
Sequels are
thing is.
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, they're always terrible, but they usually do make money though. That's the thing is we never tend to like them, but they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess that's why they keep making them, even though it's
Yeah.
annoying.
yeah, it was.
But so
We wrote an article about it.
So looking at Box Office Mojo here, so top 10 films for domestic gross. It's Finding Dory, Captain America Civil War, Rogue One, Secret Life of Pets, Jungle Book, Deadpool, Zootopia, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, and Doctor Strange.
Which
I am
edges
so mad that Suicide Squad made it
Why
into
is
the
it
top
so
10.
high? Well, I guess because there weren't as many DC movies this year. And honestly, I think that's just
Well,
because Rogue One didn't have enough time. I think if Rogue One had opened earlier in the year and because it still got numbers that won't go up yet. You know
Well,
what I
no,
mean?
no,
Like
I mean,
Finding
that's-
Dory is not in theaters anymore. So
True. No. I mean, there's going to be a significant addition to that in 2017.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's already had a decent drop off. So I mean, I think it'll push around like all said and done, it'll probably push around half a billion.
Mhm.
do you
But
think
I
it
don't-
would if its whole runtime were in 2016? Do you think it would edge out Captain America and Finding Dory?
It would certainly edge out Captain America. If you look at
Yeah, I'm
if you
almost
look at the
certain.
numbers, it's only
Yeah,
about
it's pretty
15.
close.
It's only about 15 million short of Captain America,
Mm.
and that's just a good weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though Captain America had a better opening, actually had like probably the best opening of the year.
Yeah,
Actually-
although Batman versus Superman was not far behind.
It wasn't.
Except for Secret Life of Pets, which is Universal, the top 5 are all Disney movies.
We
Not
should mention
not
that there's
Deadpool
an
and
not Deadpool.
not
Deadpool's number 6. I'm talking
Dead-
about the top 5.
Top
Oh,
5.
top 5.
Yeah.
Finding Dory, Captain America, Rogue One, and The Jungle Book.
I mean, that's what
Are
happens.
all
That's what happens
Disney.
when Disney buys Marvel and buys
Star
Lucasfilm.
Wars.
Well,
Lucasfilms.
yeah, Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilms, yeah.
And
Oh.
owns Pixar.
Yeah,
And has
Wait,
its
and
own
Lucasfilms also owns what's his face? Indy.
right. It's Lucasfilm.
It's Lucasfilm,
Wow.
yeah. So if you look at it, it's in the top 10, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a few below it. So you have to. There's an article out on this, and we have to hunt it down. Disney Studios passed $7 billion profit this past year. It was the first studio to ever do it. And I think I saw it somewhere. Maybe I might even know about it on Drudge. That's huge because they own and run Lucasfilms, Pixar, Marvel, and they have their own studio, right? They have their own production house. So that's where things like Zootopia and Jungle Book came from, was like their own in-house stuff. And then their extra, subsidiaries are all doing well. Like, yeah, they are unstoppable. They had such a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, they are swinging for the fences with almost every movie they make.
yeah. If
And
you look
they're
at
making hits.
if you look at the worldwide grosses, they don't do quite as well. Universal and Warner Brothers have a few more in there.
Mhm.
A couple like Doctor Strange gets knocked out of the bottom on worldwide grosses. But yeah, I mean they do spectacularly well. I mean they have the number 1 through 4 international like worldwide grosses, and basically each of them is $1 billion film.
Yeah. And I
That is
remember
insane.
when they
But-
bought Lucasfilms, it was like, oh, wow, they overspent. What are they thinking? They've made their money back already, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've
On
already
2
done
films.
it. Yeah, they've already done it. And we've got one a year for the next couple of years expected.
And the cool thing is they can afford to have good creative teams as well because they're making so much money, which I think is only a good thing because they know how to market for sure. And these have been for the most part watchable movies. I mean, maybe not the greatest movies. I mean, there were some slow parts in Civil War, but definitely watchable, especially compared to like Suicide Squad.
You know, when you make $7 billion, I don't think anyone's opinion matters other than how much they've paid to see your movies.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Like what I think about their stuff doesn't matter anymore.
It's funny. I was talking to my father-in-law probably about a year ago, and he was saying, back when Disney bought the Muppets, he was thinking, oh, this is going to be huge. And then he was like, I had no idea what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I mean, in comparison to what they have purchased in the last decade, the Muppets are non-existent.
No, that was just kind of, we wanted to own the Muppets because screw Jim Henson, he wouldn't sell back then.
Well, I mean, that was back in the day too. I mean, that was probably 20 years before.
Oh no, it was many, many years later. But I always felt that it was like take that, Jim Henson. We got the Muppets.
Oh yeah.
It's like that SNL cartoon where they're going through like the Disney vaults and they find Jim Henson. He's like, "What's Jim Henson doing here?" And Mickey Mouse is like, "He wouldn't sell. He wouldn't sell."
Nice.
Well, I want to talk about like some of the box office flops because we went through. I mean, unless you got anything to add on big hits.
No, but
I thought we.
Other than Suicide Squad being number 9, what the hell is wrong with people?
Yeah,
that was one hell of a marketing push, though. I'll give them that much. But good God, I like that the flops here are pretty impressive. Ben-Hur, BFG, Gods of Egypt. Who even remembers that one from early?
No,
in the
I
year?
had forgotten that came out.
Huntsman, Winter's War. Why? Who wanted that movie? No one wanted that movie. And then he had a couple ones like The Finest Hour, which was about that Coast Guard. And that was actually a Disney movie where they were like, whoops, we screwed up on that one.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles. But I want to talk about the one that I got super wrong. We talk about like predictions on 2016. Man, did I get Ghostbusters wrong.
Yeah.
Man, I thought that was going to be a big hit. And there was so much controversy built around it. Like, an all-female Ghostbusters cast. And people were like, that's a stupid idea. And they were like, you're sexist. And people were like, no, we're not. We just hate girls. I mean, we don't like remakes. And then it was like this whole thing. It was like back and forth. And, I thought the whole idea of remaking it was stupid to begin with, right? With or without women. It was a dumb idea. You shouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have been much better off just remaking it with the same. If they were going to remake it with the same characters. Don't give us new characters. That was such a bad idea. And the losses on that movie were about $70 million. Although some people are saying the hit was closer to $50 million. So $50 to $70 million loss on that movie. That's how wrong I was. I thought it was going to be a hit. It was going to get sequels. We're going to get a TV show and a cartoon. We ain't got none of that. That movie is officially a failure, and I was super wrong about it.
I mean,
I'm kind of surprised at some of these. Sorry, go ahead.
There are some ones on here that are going to lose some people some serious hardcore money. Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
I mean, that's admittedly it's only been out for a little while, but it's at $34 million with a $125 million budget.
Yep.
Warcraft. What was the budget on that one? Warcraft. The budget was 160, and it's grossed 47.
Well, that was one of those things where the Chinese market saved its ass.
That's true.
They did not operate at a loss. I think everything on this Hollywood Reporter list are bombs because there was a loss.
Holy crap! So looking at Box Office Mojo, Warcraft is 15th international, and they break down the percentages by domestic and international. 10.9% of the grosses are domestic, 89.1% international.
Yep.
Holy
most of that is China.
Crap.
We've talked. That's been a recurring theme this year on the podcast was the international market and specifically China and its effect on the American market and how it's changing the way Americans are making movies. And I am very curious to see how the Great Wall plays out. If this was a gamble that pays off for both studios. This is the one with Matt Damon and
but with a primarily Chinese cast, correct?
Yeah.
So looking at the international box office, I mean, the international on all of them, on like all of the top 10 tallies higher than the domestic for obvious reasons because it's a physically much larger market. But the only one that really is like significantly out of whack is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So the top 10 are the bread and butter is still, I think, the domestic market.
Sure. No, there's no doubt about that. But the winds are definitely changing. And we saw a couple times this year where foreign markets save movies from being failures or having losses. So a good example is one was Warcraft. Another is like Now You See Me 2. Like, we completely forgot about that movie. The reason why Now You See Me 2 was made was because of Now You See Me 1 was popular in the foreign market. And now you've got this movie, Great Wall, which is a partnership between a Chinese studio and Legendary, or is it Lionsgate? With the whole point, yeah, probably Lionsgate. It's like, Lionsgate's always like, you got cheap crap, we can make it. And it's,
and it sometimes pans out. I mean,
sometimes it pans, it works out for them. They just kind of have that, we're going to make a bunch of really cheap movies. And I'm just curious how that's going to play out in the future, if that's going to fail in both markets or succeed, or who knows what. I have no idea, but it'll be really interesting. I know that when that movie's trailer dropped and people weren't sure what was going on, like, oh, they're whitewashing another role. What's Matt Damon? It's like, no, you don't get it. This was written to have white folks and Chinese folks in the same movie. It was specifically written for that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, guys,
get used to it. We're gonna see more of these.
We've been talking about what other people pick. What are your top 3 movies this year? Dude, you start.
Oh, so this was a down year. Like last year, it was easy, right? It was like Sicario, Hateful Eight, and something else. I don't remember, right?
Spotlight.
But like, I think Spotlight. So like, it was really easy. This year is a little tough. I really liked Nice Guys. Was one movie that I really, really, really enjoyed. And then towards the end of the year, there were a couple movies that I did really like Manchester by the Sea was very good. Trying to think of a few others. I
remember you really liking Sausage Party at the time, but I don't know if you think of that as like one of your favorites.
I don't know if I call it favorite, but there were ones that I enjoyed. I think the top movie of the year for me was still Nice Guys. I'd have to like look at a couple lists here just to kind of refresh my memory of what I saw. But really, for me, the Shane Black movie with, oh shoot, now I'm blanking on his name, Ryan Gosling is probably my favorite movie of the year.
Is that the La La Land?
No, La La Land is out right now with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Nice Guys is the Shane Black movie from about the middle of the year with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and one's a PI and the other's kind of like.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Stumble onto this like very neo-noir kind of plot, and it was really something. It was fun. It was entertaining. It had, quality action, quality writing, all that kind of good stuff. I also say Hacksaw Ridge was pretty good, and I got to give Mel Gibson a lot of credit because we just talked about how these movies have these giant budgets, $100 million budgets. Like Assassin's Creed was a crazy high number. If you look at like Hacksaw Ridge, it was only like a $40-50 million movie. It grossed like 130 something, so it did pretty good domestically. It's like make more of those. Do that. There were a lot of letdowns. I mean, like, I know a lot of people loved The Green Room. I thought that was a letdown. Don't Breathe, like another kind of suspense horror film, not very good. I did like Bad Moms. Sully was all right. Central Intelligence was okay. Kung Fu Panda, I cried like a bitch, like a giant bitch. The whole movie was just crying because Kung Fu Panda makes me cry all the time. No, just cry.
True story.
True, all the time. Just watch Kung Fu Panda, just cry. Try to think of something.
I love that I know this now. That is fantastic.
No. All the time.
Oh my gosh.
Just cry. I had another one I was just gonna mention. Oh, Hail Caesar, a movie that I saw, didn't really care for the first time I saw it, and then as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. That was all right. That was really about it. Like I said, this was kind of a down year. I didn't really, wasn't anything that was like really stood out to me. Like, oh, this is great. War Dogs was good. That was
let's see, top 3. As like looking at the list, I'd have to. Deadpool's definitely on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it terrifies me to say that because I really don't like the comic character, but I enjoyed the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar's definitely on there. I had a lot of fun with that movie. There's parts that are so ridiculous.
You gotta
George
love,
Clooney
like,
playing the idiot.
But you gotta love how they make fun of communists in like the best way possible. And it's like, we don't do that enough. Well, just how silly they are and how silly they sound, and the Coen brothers do it so well.
I love the guy from Numbers who's who's basically just like revolt.
Yeah, right. He's like, don't you get it? It's obvious. That's typical communist.
Yeah. As a third one, there's a couple of that. I mean, I'm having a hard time just because there's a few that I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but I don't know, I would call it like a standout.
No, that's the things. There weren't standouts this
Yeah,
year. There were like
the third one,
okay movies.
I'd probably, it'd be a toss-up between Captain America and Star Wars. Like, neither of them are like, oh my god, it's amazing, but like, I enjoyed both of them, so...
Damn it, my list is going to be exactly like your two lists. Damn it.
Well, I mean,
How could be that? How could that be? Our lists are very different. I mean, like,
Hail Caesar's on my list as well. Probably and actually, I didn't see that in theaters. I saw that on a transatlantic flight, but it was hilarious. And I'm pretty sure that the poor woman next to me was kind of annoyed because I was giggling constantly. But Civil War, Deadpool's definitely on there, so much so that I bought it right after it came out on Blu-ray. And then I think I'm going to stick Doctor Strange in there, but it's hard to do that and not Rogue One. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. There weren't a ton of standout movies, although I did leave. I was pretty stoked after I left the theater after Civil War, so that definitely has to make it on there.
I would say there's a number of films that like all kind of hit the same middle of the road. Yeah, it was enjoyable kind of position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was kind of it. Like even like the small, like The Witch. I really enjoyed The Witch, even though I think a lot of people didn't like it. The biopic of Snowden and even The Free State of Jones I kind of liked, even though those didn't really get huge play. But it was one of those things like, I kind of liked it. It was all right.
What was that one that you said I should watch? Assembly, Ascension, something.
Oh, Arrival.
Arrival, that's what it is.
Which
I haven't seen that, but a lot of people really liked it.
A lot of people really like it, and I don't get it. I'm just like, it's really boring. I kind of liked Passengers better as far as like science fiction is concerned, but nobody seems to like Passengers. Like I was like, I kind of enjoyed it, but I don't know what people. I mean, like the critics kind of like took a poop on it. Poopies. And I didn't see Fences yet. I want to see Fences. It came out a couple days ago. And
that's the one with Viola Davis and...
It's the adaptation of the August Wilson play. Which I've seen performed. It's very good. But
I couldn't stand I couldn't stand the play.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean,
it's kind of like
I've
black
seen it.
Postman or a black Death of a Salesman.
I mean, like I've everything I've seen, every time I've seen it performed, it's been well performed. I just think it's a load of crap. I think just the point of the show is a load of crap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think to me, I was like, whoa, this just makes sense. Everything makes sense. This guy is an ass.
Also, I take issue with the writer,
August Wilson. Yeah, he's a little over the top, but I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit. This is part of his Pittsburgh cycle,
right?
Which basically he wrote a play about Black Americans in Pittsburgh for every decade of the 20th century.
Right.
So each play is about like that specific decade. So Fences, I think, is the 30s.
No, Fences is the 60s.
The 50s. 60s. Okay.
It's after it's 50s because it's Jackie Robinson.
Okay, so there's the 50s, and then I guess the piano is the 30s, and there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
But for me, it was very reminiscent of Death of a Salesman. So I would say check it out. Although I haven't seen the movie yet.
I mean,
did they film it on location? Anybody know? I'm curious because Kurt's from Pittsburgh, so that might be something for us to check out.
Well, they do film like a lot of stuff in Pittsburgh. Like that's one of those cities where they like to go film. So maybe I don't know. Like Batman, they filmed in Pittsburgh. That Pittsburgh doubled as Gotham.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see it just because I think the actors in it are going to put on a standout performance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, this was really like let's get Viola Davis an Oscar nod.
Yeah,
because both of them have done this on Broadway before, so this is one of those things like, hey, let's make a movie out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's Viola Davis and Denzel Washington. Like you've got a hard time going wrong with that combination.
It's true.
Yeah.
I said hard time. It's not impossible.